I'm gonna walk through how I picked as my album cover. So I'm gonna point out what I love about it, and then I'll talk through kind of the iterations to get here. Okay, so the whole album is about like authorship and specifically kind of a nod to books that I loved as a kid. I name drop things like Matilda and Harriet the Spy and that kind of era of blunt bang girl superhero kind of characters in my own upbringing. And the whole thing is kind of like designing your own world. Like, what is it like to feel authorship over your own self, and the ways that that truth meets the truth of the normal world and is a real conflict. I knew that I wanted to do this kind of diorama thing because A, we're talking about kidhood, B, there's a song in there called Girl Street, which is kind of about like designing a world based off of what your kid self would want. And there's a video of me putting all of this together that references the animated film The Hand. So I took this and I did the, not this picture exactly, but like an iPhone photo. And I did that thing where you like click on it and hold it and get a subject PNG out of it. And then I made this as the first iteration. And I really don't like this X Janie Shea thing going on in the corner, which is why it's not in the final thing. But you can see that it's like this wild world in the cardboard diorama, and then it's this plain box around it. And that is kind of speaking to this tension between an inner world and a difficult outer world. I picked Times New Roman for the font because this is about books, and I thought about myself as a kid, and like if I were trying to be authorly, I would be writing in Times New Roman. I included the Eyewitness Rocks and Minerals book that it was literally sitting on top of. It does have a photo of me and my kid self in there. And so I knew that this was kind of the environment and the vibe and the tensions I wanted to explore. But I also knew that this was like, I immediately was like, this is a stepping stone. We're not ending here. This was round two, which has the Janie Shea in a stamp, which I liked a lot better. It keeps the same square box. So I was like, this is a good place. And I sat on this for like, the next thing I did was add these two birds. And the reason I did that is because the kind of conceit of the project is that the tension between the inner world and the outer world has another layer to it, which is that the outer world is also just as wild and beautiful. And I think that the birds are kind of this like messenger between the inner and the outer, and I wanted them to feel like that, to say this outer world that's like all lines and white space and angles, like, no, the birds are here too. And that made me think, well, like, I am kind of dissolving the idea of the box, so I shouldn't have the box around the whole thing. The project feels like taking the lid off to me. And so I thought, oh, how beautiful would it be if, like, where the birds are, the box stops. And so then we have this one. But I thought it looked kind of incomplete. And I was like, okay, what would my kid self do? Like, put that baseball hat. And this was the answer. And I love it for so many reasons, these little stars. One, because they look like wands to me. Two, sorry, Cyrus. Two, because they're like sparking. It's like a dynamite thing, you know what I mean? Like a cartoon that has a little spark that's going down a rope that will go to something that blows up. I think that is so fun. And it also just speaks to, the album is very messy. That's part of the reason I wanted the birds in. I have two songs that I have like feature the outside. Hold on, I'll show you. Okay, so here you can see I literally list outside as a feature. I love that it said Janie Shea, outside, because I was outside, and those tracks are noisy because you can hear the birds, you can hear the sounds of the park, you can hear the sounds of a train in one of them. And I wanted that. I wanted this. I wanted to feel like this. I wanted it to be messy, but like personalized in every single way. This is something that my true, whatever, 12-year-old self wrote or made with my friend Olivia. It literally has a label, like it's a label maker that says love like a cousin, LOL, cousin spelled CUIZZIN. And this kind of like extremely thought out but imperfect, because it's not perfect. It's not trying to be perfect. It's literally trying to be its own thing. That's what I wanted the music to be. That's what I wanted the cover to be. And I'm so happy with it.